Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a Septum, like frequently asked questions, Q&A sort of thing. I haven't done a video in ages and I'm very sorry for that. I've recently just moved to England, so I'm just trying to settle in and get everything sorted, but everything's good now, so I'm just gonna make this video for you because I've missed you guys a lot. A lot of you guys actually wanted to know about my septum piercing. I just have a horseshoe in at the moment. This is what it looks like. Yeah. So I'm just going to get straight into the questions. So I'm going to start with the most frequently asked questions because there are quite a few and I want to clarify things. Before I start, I just want to say that this is all my personal experience. I can't speak for others. People handle pain differently. I'm just going to start off this video by saying that I did get my piercing done early July, I think it was, like around the first week of July. I've had it for about 4 months now, so I've had it for quite a while. I didn't realise how long I've actually had it for. Wow. But yeah, I've had it for about 4 months now and I haven't had any problems with it at all. The first most frequently asked question is, did it hurt? Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, the clamp hurt the most. They didn't numb it for me, so I didn't really, I don't know how it would feel if it was numbed, but definitely the clamp hurt the most. I didn't really feel the needle go in, and I think that is also because I have a very good piercer. She was really calm and she did it like literally 2 minutes. It was really good. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably say it was like a 3 maybe. It did make my eyes tear up a lot though, so. How much did it cost? Well, mine, it all varies from where you get it, but mine I think was around £25, something around that. I think I paid 30 overall, but it's relatively cheap and it's a really good piercing to have because it's so versatile. How long did it take to heal? If I can remember correctly, I think it took around 2 months. But during that I changed the piercing like 3 times, and I know you're not meant to do that, but yeah, I got pierced with a massive one at first. I'll like put a picture here. It was like super big and I just couldn't deal with it being that big, so then I went in to get a smaller one and it ended up being too small, so I basically just put that up my nose. After I got the small one, I just put a hoop in, and that was the one that I stuck with for quite a while. Put a picture here of the hoop. Yeah, I really liked the hoop, but because I've just got a job now, I need to basically be able to flip this one up, and with horseshoes you can flip it up, so it's easy and I can hide it, which is always good. Healing time will depend on the person. Obviously for me it was, I'd say, average, but it can take much longer for other people. The only good thing, well, not the only good thing, but the good thing about this piercing is that it is very hard to get infected, I'm pretty sure. Don't like quote me on that. I'm not a professional piercer, but basically because it is up in your nose, you're not really touching it that much and it's not really getting in contact with anything. So when I got my piercing first done, it was a super big piercing. It was like I showed you the picture before, it was massive, but I think I got it pierced with an 18 gauge needle. Usually they do get pierced with a 16 or 18 gauge. The reason that my piercing was so big when I first got it done is basically because they want to leave it for room to swell, so if my nose did swell up after getting the septum piercing, it wouldn't be too small and the skin wouldn't like start growing all over the piercing and getting all gross. So they basically put a bigger one in. But they did say that I could change it after 2 weeks if I really wanted to. So I waited those 2 weeks, and as soon as those 2 weeks were up I went and got another one, just because it was massive. But it took up most of my face, to be honest. One of the questions that I get a lot is, can you flip it up straight away? I didn't, because mine was too big, as I've said before. It didn't actually go up my nose because it was so big, but many people do. They say to put it up your nose as soon as you get it done, or leave it down, because if you leave it down and then put it up maybe like the day after for work, it like disrupts the skin around like the piercing and can like move the crusty skin or crusty scab or whatever, which isn't the best thing, to be honest. And that just slows down the healing process and everything. If you were wanting to flip it up for work or whatever, if you had like a special event, I'd say like as soon as you get it pierced, flip it up and then wait until it's fully healed, so about 1.5 to 2 months. Is it uncomfortable to flip up? No, it's definitely not uncomfortable. You basically just make a really funny face like this and just push it up your nose backwards. So it's not uncomfortable. I don't feel it when it's up there. Even with like this piercing with the balls, I don't feel it. Maybe when I talk a bit I can feel it, but I'm used to it now because I do have to put it up quite a lot. So yeah, and when it's up you can't even see it unless you're like looking straight up like that. You can't see it, so it's honestly such a good piercing to get. If your family doesn't like it, you could just put it up and it'll be fine. One of the questions that I read online that a lot of people ask is that they're asking if it smells. I've never had a problem with smell. I don't know whether that's a common thing or not, but a lot of people have said that there's a smell after getting it pierced. Mine didn't smell at all. I don't know whether that's because I had a good piercer and like she pierced it in the like right place where you're meant to get it pierced, but yeah, mine didn't smell at all. So now I'm just going to go through the pros and cons of the septum piercing. A lot of people are kind of 50-50 about it. They don't know whether they like it. Personally, I love it. I think it's super cool and it just adds to your overall look, but a lot of people do have stuff to say about it as well. One of the pros is that you can hide it. I've spoken about this a lot. Basically, you just push it up your nose and you can't even see it. Sorry if the camera angle just changed. My card was full, so I had to kind of delete all of my pictures. And yeah. So the second pro is that you can change your look depending on your mood or whatever. If you're feeling like a bit girly, you can maybe get a decorative, I think that's how you say it, a decorative septum piercing or septum jewellery, which is basically just ones with like diamonds and like jewels on it, which is quite cool. I haven't actually gotten one of those yet. Don't know whether they'd suit me because they are quite big usually. If you're feeling a bit like just plain, you just want to keep it simple, just get like a horseshoe piercing or a hoop. They normally great. Yeah, those are normally the ones that I stick to though, just because I don't want it to be too out there, you know. A septum piercing can typically suit anyone, really. From what I've seen, everyone that has a septum piercing, it looks really good on them. I haven't seen anyone that it doesn't yet. Maybe it changes, but from what I've seen, it does suit most people. One of the main things and the reason why my parents did kind of, they didn't really agree, they didn't really let me get it, but I was like, Mom, I'm gonna get it, and she was like, oh, I mean, you're nearly 18, so I'm not gonna say no, but basically the fact that if you did take it out, it would leave no visible scar, and the fact that you can hide it, that's also why my mum let me get it. But because of what I want to do, I want to model, basically if I had any piercings, like facial piercings, they probably wouldn't let me model, just because if I were to take it out, it would leave, like if I had a lip piercing or something, it would leave a visible scar. But when you take this septum piercing out, you can't see the scar anyway, even if you have a massive scar, which you won't, it's just a tiny dot. A lot of people I've seen do stretch their septums. I wouldn't personally stretch it just because I kind of like it being small, I guess. But yeah, a lot of people do stretch them. It is possible. And the last one is probably that it's really easy to clean. When I got it done, I cleaned it twice a day with salt water. That's it, or like saline solution, I think that's what it's called, but that's just salt water. I just got like a cotton bud and just like cleaned around the piercing. It was really easy. Probably honestly the easiest piercing I had to take care of. My cartilage was the worst. That didn't even heal, like that took ages to heal. So now we're moving on to the cons. For me, there aren't really many cons for this piercing. I think it was totally worth it. The pain wasn't that bad, and it was just overall a good experience. Just like most piercings, it is sore afterwards, but you get that with any piercing, so it's not really a big deal. Just make sure that you don't bump it into anything. When you're taking your clothes off, just like be careful. I've hit this piercing a lot. Now I can I can move it and it doesn't hurt at all. You first get it done, it does hurt when you bump it onto stuff, so try and avoid that. Don't go through that pain because it will sting for a while. This is really funny actually, because a lot of people are against it, I guess. They're not really against it, they just don't see the point behind a septum piercing. You will get the occasional bull comment. No one's ever said it to me personally, but I've seen a lot of comments like on celebrities when they get septum piercings and they're like, oh, she's turned into a bull now. Kind of just like ignore it if anyone says that to you, because they're not worth your time, you know. One thing that I've noticed is that when you get a cold, it is annoying when you have a septum piercing, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. It kind of sucks when you have a septum piercing. It's just really weird having a piece of jewelry in your nose when you're like when you have a runny nose or something, but it's not exactly like make or break situation. Is that the right saying? I'm not sure. It's not horrible, it's just weird. The last thing is probably the worst thing, for me anyway. If you do get a horseshoe piercing like the one that I have on now, I'll zoom in. Basically, it is so hard to put the balls on. It's so, the first time I tried to put balls on, it took about an hour. So I think that's it for this video. If you did like it, give it a massive thumbs up, and also remember to hit subscribe because that would help out a lot. I hope you did find this video somewhat interesting and helpful. I tried to include the most frequently asked questions. If you do have any more questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll try to answer them for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.